Good morning, students. First of all, let us revise last class topic. In the last class, we classified the mixtures into two types, homogeneous and heterogeneous. We have seen their characteristics also. Today, again, let us see another classification of mixtures. The classes of mixtures. Let us consider an activity. For that, let us take 4 beakers and mark them as A, B, C and D. Now, fill half the beakers with water. To the first beaker, add some copper sulfate. To the second beaker, add a teaspoonful of copper sulfate. See, we can add some chalk powder. And to beaker D, we can add a little milk. Now stir all the beakers with a glass rod or with a spoon. Then observe all the beakers. Do we get the same type of mixers in all the beakers? No. We can see in beaker A and B, the copper sulfate completely dissolves and forms a clear blue colored mixer. Yes. Then the mixers with uniform composition are classified as homogeneous mixers. So let us divide or let us classify the mixers in group A, beaker A and B as homogeneous mixer. Then what about beaker C? In that we added some chalk powder. Now the chalk powder starts settling down. Is it a clear or is it having a uniform composition? No. Its parts are distinct. Its parts, that is the water and the chalk powder, are completely visible in our naked eyes. So we can say it is a heterogeneous mixture because it is not having a uniform composition. Then what about beaker D? It is again, we have taken milk and water, they mixed, or milk completely dissolves, or we can say the milk miscible in water, and it also forms a mixture with uniform composition. So the mixture in group D again constitute a homogeneous mixture. Direct a beam of light from a torch through the beakers. We can see the path of light is not visible in beaker A, B, C, whereas the path of light is visible in beaker D. Once again, stir the mixture in beaker C with a spoon and allow the light to pass through. Then we can see the path of light becomes visible. If we leave the beakers undisturbed, we can see no particles settles down in beaker A, B and D, whereas the particles of chalk starts to settle down in beaker C. Next is filter the mixtures in all the beakers by using a filter paper. It is shown in the diagram. We can see no residue will remain in the filter paper for the mixture of beaker A, B and D, whereas we can see residue on the filter paper for the mixer in beaker C. So we examined the mixers in all the beakers by passing a beam of light, then by allowing the particles to settle, then by filtering the mixers. Yes. So what could we see? The mixers in beaker A and B, when we allowed the beam of light to pass through, the path of light was not visible because the particles are too small to scatter the beam of light. That is why the path of light was not visible. Then for beaker C, that is the chalk and water mixture, in that without stirring, if we pass the beam of light, the particles do not scatter and as a result the path of light becomes invisible. Whereas if we stir the mixture and then if we allow the beam of light to pass through the chalk and chalk water mixture, then we can see the path of light becomes visible because the particles are big enough to scatter the beam of light. Then in beaker D, it was milk, and the particles of milk can scatter the beam of light. That is why the path of light was visible in beaker D. Then when we consider the settling of particles, beaker A and B, no particle settles down. Then beaker D also, no particle settles down. Then we can say the mixers in beaker A, B and D are stable. Whereas in beaker C, the chalk particles always try to settle down. So the parts of the mixer are distinctly visible. Then we can say that mixer is an unstable mixer. It is unstable. Then we filtered all the mixers. In beaker A and B, there is no residue on the filter paper. In beaker D also, we couldn't see any residue on the filter paper. Whereas for beaker C, we could see the particles of chalk on the filter paper. So the characteristics or the characteristics of the mixers in A, B, C and D are differing each other. So we can say, but beaker A and B are showing the same characteristic because we dissolved only copper sulfate in beaker A and B. So we can say we can call the mixers in beaker A and B as solutions. Then in beaker C, the mixer is known as. In this way, we can classify the mixers again into three types, that is solutions or true solutions, suspension and colloid. Let us see the properties of solutions in the next class.